ในเรื่องของการบริหารจัดการน้ำนะครับก็ถือว่าเป็นอีกหนึ่งในหัวข้อสำคัญในเป้าหมายการพัฒนาไปสู่ความยั่งยืนหรือ Sustainable Development Goals ขององค์การสหประชาชาติที่มีการบัญญัติเอาไว้นั่นเองนะครับนั่นก็คือการบริหารจัดการน้ำสะอาดและก็ถูกสุขลักษณะให้กับทุกๆคนในประเทศสามารถใช้ได้นอกจากนั้นแล้วนะครับในเรื่องน้ำนี่ยังถูกเชื่อมโยงนะครับไปสู่ในเรื่องของการแก้ไขปัญหาในเรื่องภาวะโลกร้อนหรือ climate change ได้อีกต่างหากด้วยเพราะเนื่องจากว่าการที่มีน้ำสะอาดไม่ว่าจะเป็นในเชิงของแม่น้ำลำธารหรือแม้กระทั่งทะเลมหาสมุทรเองเนี่ยถ้าเกิดว่าเราปล่อยสิ่งปนเปื้อนลงไปก็ถือว่าเป็นการทำลายโลกอย่างหนึ่งแล้วก็เป็นต้นเหตุนะครับของการทำให้เกิดการเปลี่ยนแปลงของสภาพอากาศด้วยดังนั้นนะครับหน่วยงานภาครัฐและเอกชนไม่ว่าจะเป็นของไทยหรือของต่างประเทศเองเนี่ยก็เลยได้มีการรวมตัวกันนะครับจัดงานที่มีชื่อว่า Thai Water Expo และ Water Forum 2023 ขึ้นซึ่งที่ผมยืนอยู่ขณะนี้นะครับก็คือพาวิเลียนของประเทศเนเธอร์นั่นเองนะครับซึ่งวัตถุประสงค์ในการมาหรือแม้กระทั่งในเรื่องของนวัตกรรมต่างๆการรวมตัวกันนะครับเขาจะทำอะไรกับประเทศไทยได้บ้างวันนี้บุริมพาคุณมาเจอนี่ครับ What are the major challenges for globally especially on the water management issue?
Well, there's many actually, and they're only increasing. So we have floodings, we have sea level rise, but we have also in the Netherlands increasingly drought. Also, because we are below sea level in the Netherlands, people always felt like that would be our major problem. But over the years, this is also becoming an increasingly bigger problem. And next to that, also water quality, water pollution, or even other topics like saltwater intrusion. So there's lots of challenges in the Netherlands already, but also internationally, we really need to manage our water better in order to also face the effects of climate change. And I think in this regard, it's also good to mention that in March this year, we had a historic UN water conference, the first one since 1977.
Oh, so, surprisingly.
Yeah, so it's so important to address water also at an international level and really collaborate and get out of our own silos and really see water at the heart also of the political agenda so that it's not just water we're talking about, but water is so interlinked with a lot of other challenges we're facing when it comes to food security, biodiversity, energy. It's all interlinked, and sometimes we focus a little bit too much on just the water challenges as it is, and we tend to step by the interlinkages it has, because water is of course really the connector between a lot of topics.
Yeah, everybody talking about the climate change, but originally maybe it's come from the water system.
Well, exactly. You cannot talk about food security, for example, without including water. It's so interlinked.
So everything related to the water system.
It is. Yeah. It all comes down to too little, too much, or too dirty water.
That's right. And so how does the Netherlands government react on this issue?
Well, we both, of course, domestically have several initiatives to either protect us from sea level rise and also more recent initiatives. So it might be interesting to mention that we have a history when it comes to flooding. So we have the major engineering works like the storm surge barrier, the Maaslandkering, and other work. But over the recent year, we also tend to focus on a more integral, inclusive approach, which also includes nature-based solutions, for example. We have a project called Room for the River, in which we really want to make sure that we also create space for the water instead of just building concrete walls, but also let it flow. So these are more recent initiatives. And then also internationally, we're very active and we're always looking for partners also in order to follow up on some of the challenges I just mentioned and really making sure that we as a global partners really make sure that we follow up on some of these outcomes of the UN Water Conference as well, because the Netherlands was co-hosting this conference with Tajikistan and we're also very much of course ready to make sure we have follow-up.
Yeah, very interesting because for the geographically of the Netherlands and Thailand, maybe we are sharing some similar.
Yes.
Especially on the river and water living.
I think so too, yeah. I think we're facing some similar challenges, and I heard in some of the sessions today that sea level rise is a very important challenge for Thailand also over the next years. So also Bangkok is of course situated in an area where it's prone to sea level rise, so that is definitely something we have in common and we can learn from each other. but also maybe drought, because that has been increasingly a topic in the Netherlands as well. And when it comes to water pollution, of course, it's very interesting to see where we can learn from each other also when it comes to wastewater treatment. And we have like the companies we bought here this week, they're very innovative when it comes to coming up with solutions for that. So that is, I think, the third one that would be very interesting to work on.
Is that the major reasons for the Netherlands government and embassy working here in Thailand for finding the collaboration as well?
Yeah, definitely. So of course we have the Netherlands embassy here, who is the primary contact also for companies that want to expand here, and when they have questions about where to start or who to speak with. The embassy is really the one that has all the contact information and always includes the ministry in case of there's more G2G, government-to-government cooperation. So they're incredibly important in being sort of our first contact here. And we have a MOU, the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management, with the Office of Natural Water Resources here in Thailand.
So from today's event, so we bring B2B all together.
Exactly.
So how was it? How was the reaction?
I think we're doing a great job. If we looked at the innovation forum we just had in here, we had representatives from the private sector, from the public sector, both here in Thailand, as from the Netherlands. So I really feel like we are all here together, we're in this together. And
so was this the first time for do the business matching in the water management?
Well, I think here in Bangkok, which is a big trade mission, yes, but I'm also looking at my colleagues from the embassy. But this is really like what we favor in the Netherlands. We prefer to do it this way, like bring in a nice delegation that's a good mix of both research, but also like the private sector companies with innovative technologies. And then this here, the Thai Expo, is of course a great opportunity because it brings everything together and there's lots of interesting
It's a great
partners.
Opportunity.
It is a great opportunity, yeah.
So more than G2G or B2B, what do you think that it should be the collaboration maybe has to be developed or has to be created in the future?
Well, I think this is an excellent starting point, and it's not even a starting point because the Netherlands and Thailand already have a quite close cooperation since several years. But I think this is really like again a new point in which, for example, with the companies we are here, they're very interested in moving forward, and they also are a really good mix. So, for example, from the Dutch government, we have some instruments in which we can support them for a multi-year program to work here. So that is something we can consider, like after this mission, like what does everyone think of it, and where can we really focus on in moving ahead.
Last but not least, how individual in every country can be the part of water management solutions?
Well, I think that's sort of the key. Like every individual should be included, because I think if people don't feel included, we will not achieve the change we want. Because like from a government perspective, well, we can of course tell people where they should live or where we're going to build something, but that's not going to work. I mean, if you involve people in the start of the process, then they will feel included because it's their community. And for example, one of the projects the embassy is currently working on is a hotspot analysis of a couple of spots here in Bangkok, in which we can further collaborate when it comes to, for example, flooding. And that is an example. This process is really about involvement of the community in coming up with solutions. So, I mean, they live there, so they often have ideas about what would work or what would work not. So I think it's key.
นอกจากสถานทูตเนเธอร์แลนด์นะครับเขาจะมีการจัดบูธแล้วก็เนเธอร์แลนด์พาวิเลียนนะครับก็ได้มีการจัดกิจกรรมที่มีชื่อว่า Walk the Talk ก็คือได้เจอกับท่านชัดชาตินะครับผู้ว่าราชการกรุงเทพมหานครของเรานี่แหละเจอกับท่านทูตของเนเธอร์แลนด์นะครับประจำประเทศไทยนะครับก็ได้มีการพาทัวร์กันแล้วก็อธิบายตามจุดต่างๆนะครับว่าเรามีการจัดการป่าจัดการน้ำของสวนเบญจกิติแล้วก็พื้นที่รอบๆบริเวณทางที่จะเดินไปสถานทูตเนเธอร์แลนด์อย่างไรบ้างครับ